Hello everyone, this will be the review of game Let Them Come, and the key was provided by developer. I played it a little bit until I got stuck in the campaign, so I'll try to show the campaign and other stuff in the game. There's a couple of game modes. Maybe we start with menu. I'm just going to check if everything is working correctly. It seems to be okay. So normally you can continue the campaign, or you can move your mouse down and look for other options, which is the rampage challenge. Probably this is just a score run. Then we have boss challenges, which I always fail, and Twitch challenge, which I'm not gonna talk about because I don't use Twitch because I have crappy internet, so can't help you with that. If you press escape, you have this menu, sort of. I don't know why it's like this. Like options appear on the left. Well, whatever. Controls. Controls are quite easy. You can use keyboard mostly, just mouse. Shooting with left mouse button. Secondary ammo on Q. Melee spacebar. Grenade is right mouse button, and that's all that you need to know. Basically, it's very easy to control. Settings, not the best. We can switch window mode on and off. I'm not gonna even touch it because it's now running properly, so I don't wanna screw it up. Languages, there's many of them. There's 11 languages, so that's not so bad. I set it for English. I think it's a Polish game. I'm not entirely sure. Performance is rather crude. Only one slider that does God knows what, and it's supposed to increase or decrease performance. Adding more effects or less effects. God knows what those effects are, so I just leave it on 10. It seems to work, so I'm not gonna touch it. And sound volume, you only have one button. I'm gonna try to change it. Yeah, music and sound together. So that's a bad idea. I'm gonna put it to 0 because I want to comment on the game. I should have two separate sliders here and not by 10%. It should be like at least 100 pieces, so we can go to like 55%, not just by 10. And so that's quite crude, but at least we have some stuff, right? We can at least switch off music and pick a language, so that's something, and play window mode. What else? New game, I might go to new game in a moment. Options, that what we have seen already, so let's go back. I'm gonna show you the fight with boss because I always fail at this, so let's just see the first boss. Okay, so normally you can click somewhere. I guess this is the start. It doesn't show you, by the way. It should be some way of uh, informing you what's going on, because if you hover on something, it doesn't tell you anything, right? There is the change of cursor, so probably this is where you change your equipment, and this is the start of the game, but no information about it, so you have to guess. And that's the sort of screen where you add upgrades for your character. So this stuff is not working because it's not campaign. Sounds are here, you can change sounds, but of course I'm not gonna pick it that because I want to comment, so it's gonna be without sound. Generally speaking, you have passive upgrades, which are on the left. Let's say you can pick something like this, and then we have the passive upgrade. And then you can have what is it? Flar. Maybe let's take Molotov. Yeah, it's gonna be a secondary weapon. And ammo. Well, let's switch to one other ammo like this one. Alright, explosive. Let's now try to play using what I picked. So we have the boss. Normally we just keep shooting like this, which does, as you could imagine, no damage for unknown reason. Right mouse button allows us to use a grenade. Now he's taking damage at least. That's better. By the way, I'm gonna die very quickly. Q is going to give me other ammo. No, Q is shooting the other ammo. You don't switch. You have to shoot with the other button instead of mouse button. So this is pretty much how much you can do with the damage. Grenades do some damage to the boss and also the better ammo, but otherwise I was unable to do anything. I'm not sure if I'm regenerating. Probably I'm not. Okay, so I have to probably kill the guys there. Small guys. I'm trying. Spacebar is attack. I'm not sure if I even have melee weapon, and I died, right? So this wasn't so bad. I just wanted to notice that I don't see any way of grinding here. I guess you have to simply pick proper gear, and normal ammo does very little damage. Maybe I'm gonna show it to you again. What happens if you just shoot him? By the way, I lost everything because I didn't pick anything, right? So I'm shooting the guy, his HP bar doesn't budge, so you don't know what's going on. Is it broken? Should I hit the weak point? Is it specific phase when he takes damage, or my weapon is too crappy? I have no idea. I denied the attack, which is meaningless. Like, seems like I did some damage somehow, but it's not explained at all. It's not explained how it works, what exactly combo meter does. Generally speaking, you usually die very quickly from 1 or 2 shots. Not sure how you can counteract them. Spacebar doesn't work because I don't have any melee weapon. So you can do it badly. You can pick some stuff and try to do better. Like this, of course, without any gear was much worse approach. By the way, I have no idea what it is supposed to lead you to. Do you unlock anything if you beat the boss? I don't know. I was unable to do it. So if you go out, let's maybe go to main menu. Right, so that was the boss. Now Rampage Challenge. This is the normal situation where you pick stuff and try to beat the score. I did just once because I didn't really feel the point of doing it, just for the points, pun intended. Right, so of course sounds, I'm not interested in sounds. I want to just check the gameplay. This is always my first focus, right? The music can be a follow-up, sound can be if you're just focusing on the game, if the game is worth focusing on, which is not always the case. I'm not saying in this case it isn't, but sometimes you just play and you do something else at the same time. Let's just pick whatever, right? Let's take this, maybe some melee weapon. One melee weapon and maybe other ammo. We have something that makes fire, yes. By the way, it's expensive. Can we buy more? Well, yes, we can pick how much we take. Let's take some ammo and an axe. Alright. Now I start wave 1, and this is the attack. Oh, I can throw axes. I can also shoot. I'm already taking damage. I'm gathering points, but I'm not sure if they get me anything. I don't think so. Oh, I already died. Let's see what happens. I got little points. Yeah, that's the boards. Let's retry. And we see we have the same stuff, right? So you have to again pick everything. You cannot save your setup. It would be nice if you could save your setup so that you can well, keep doing the same build sort of, because this is kinda sort of a build that you have. Maybe I pick something more stronger. This is powerful. Let's take it, and then well, maybe without ammo. Let's just check if this will be better. We now have grenades and we have better spacebar, something like this. This is melee, probably the strongest melee that you have. So if I throw grenade, what happens? They might get killed, hopefully. My gun is really bad, by the way, and I died. Yeah, I messed up, clearly. Alright, last attempt. I'm trying to get the better gun. Let's try to upgrade this. Okay, so increase rate of fire, then maybe ventilation, multiple. I'm not sure how it works. Special to activate, add them to your ammo slots. What does it mean? Should I put it there? Maybe I should put it here. Maybe this is how it works. Alright, let's try to do this, and I've seen something like this ventilation. So let's see if a better gun would do any better. If I'm doing it correctly, because I'm not sure really. I just played a little bit of campaign. Okay, so I now have a shotgun. I should probably let it cool down and then keep shooting. Kinda works. Of course, the points are really bad. I have no idea how I made 70 points or something. If I'm doing this badly. I did one wave. Now, the problem is that you're not really progressing or unlocking anything. At least I don't see any option here. The only place where you can upgrade, sort of, is the campaign, which I'm gonna show you at the end. Alright, so this goes like this. We got 60 points. Maybe I go to 100 and then die, or we let them win, or whatever. Okay, 71. You know, I'm not really unlocking anything, so I have very little incentive to play it any further. But let's just try to get to 100 for the sake of it. Right. That's over 100. Oh, you can actually get a bonus, so that's nice. Gun drone. Alright. I think this is also a part of game where you actually get sort of experience or bonuses. I think there are just passive boosts that go away after a while. Alright, this is not so bad really. I should die because it's gonna take too long. I'm just gonna let them kill me. You will see what happens. Probably nothing happens. I will just be a little bit further in the leaderboard. Yeah. So if I compare to friends, right, I'm slightly further. That's not something I am very interested in. Many. Okay, so where I'm in the campaign, it won't be much of a spoiler. I'm just gonna show you one boss. So basically, I'm somewhere, right? I have some stuff, some upgrades. Maybe we move this to main weapon. Okay. What can I add? I could add, let's say, Molotovs. Maybe let's take 20 of them for the sake of it. I'm just gonna burn them because I'm gonna fail anyway. So this is kinda what I have. I have some passive upgrades. I have some Molotovs, the best, probably best melee weapon, and some ammo. There we have some information that you can get. Yeah, stuff like that. It's basically stuff that you get while you play. Some info. That's information about enemies. It's there, so it's well, nice addition, I would say. Of course, the same music stuff that I'm not interested in, and this whole upgrade system, right? You have only a certain amount of slots, so eventually you kinda have the finished build. You have pretty much everything, and then you just keep trying. The problem is that the boss is just very hard, like this, right? Again, I'm doing some damage. I don't know if I'm doing some damage. I might be, because I have no idea how the boss works. So again, I'm trying to do damage. He's kinda killing me very quickly. There's a couple of attacks. I'm not sure how I can damage him at all. He releases a swarm of enemies and I'm kinda dead. He's taking no damage, by the way, for unknown reason. Probably have a completely wrong weapon for him, but I don't know if that's the case. Right, I'm still shooting, sort of. I tried even to defend like this, but I just died. Yeah, this is the same case. So I have no idea how am I supposed to progress from here. Maybe I have completely wrong build. Maybe I'm a stupid. I don't know. But the game doesn't really tell you how to damage the boss. If the boss can be damaged, is the case of getting specific upgrades. Maybe you just have to sell your stuff and use a different grenade or something like this. I don't know. I have really no idea how to beat it. So maybe we go to just main menu, and I'm going to try with new game. Right, we're going to destroy it and just start. Okay, I'm gonna skip it. Alright, so we start here, right? We start with nothing. We have this bad gun and no upgrades. I'm going to just do like a little bit and then die, and then we'll see how the upgrades go. So normally it starts like this. You hit some enemies, you get some money, you hope to get the combo meter high enough, and then you are slowly being overrun by more and more enemies. You upgrade and you try to break through a specific level or wave or boss, and then you do the same until you can beat the next one. But as you can see, you can get stuck because it's not really well explained how you can kill and damage the bosses. It's just very weird. One of these bosses was taking damage from fire. This one is just pretty much invulnerable. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to use against him, and you can very quickly die. It's also very random. Sometimes you don't take much damage. Sometimes you get one shot at. It's very weird. You don't really have stats. You only have upgrades. Alright, so maybe I'll die here. Maybe we'll make it to 150 and then I die. Not sure if I can get this combo meter up. I'll try to. Maybe we try to make this to the full, because it seems to slowly grow. I want to show at least one upgrade, because it might be interesting at least slightly. Right. Alright, so this is a score award. Let's just take score award. Maybe we'll just get more score. Yeah, we got 100 and I died. Alright, let's see. And okay, we have 200. Then you can try to upgrade here. Alright, so this is explaining. We can get, alright, we can get hunting knife and maybe this. Oh, we have to actually move it. Alright. and this is probably just rapid fire. If I upgrade it, it's going to probably work. So then you get out of this, probably with escape or not. Is it escape? No, it's not escape. How do you go out of this? Boombox. Yeah. Oh yeah, the back button wasn't there. All right. So now you do the same with more stuff, right? So aside from those upgrades, there is no progression. You just progress with your passives and gear that you can buy. So it's failure, attempt to upgrade, failure. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you make it further, and then you get stuck on something, either on boss or on some other stuff. I was personally just stuck on one of the bosses. I'm not sure how long is the game. So I will probably stop around here somewhere where I can cut them. Let's see if I can cut them effectively. No. Well, I can cut them slightly. Not sure if I regenerate. I don't think I do. Maybe there is a power for that, but I don't notice being healed. Can you do the boss? No, I died. All right. What did I do? Session. I'm not sure what's the session. What is the session? All right. I guess that was just what I did. No, new inventory content. Okay, what happened? What changed? Not sure what changed. Maybe I got something here unlocked. Maybe I got info about those guys or some more tracks. Well, I had them before, so I'm not very interested. So overall, you go towards stronger enemies, towards harder bosses, upgrading your stuff on the way, right? So you have melee weapons, you have ammo, you have grenades, or other stuff like this, explosives, and passives. And once you have them, that's all you can do. That's all the upgrades and progression that you have within campaign. From what I understand, those other modes don't allow you to grind or push forward in any way. Rampage challenge just ends when you die. You get enough points and you die. That's it. It's one run. Bosses, well, it's now locked, but it was unlocked before. Probably you can just replay boss after you kill one of the bosses. Might be 5, might be more. Hard to say. So I killed this one boss. He was available here. I'm not sure what it gives, to be honest. I don't think it affects the actual campaign. You can probably just replay it for the sake of it. And then you have some sort of Twitch stuff, which I cannot really tell you about because I don't use it. So mainly it's the campaign. The campaign, it's just used being a stationary gunman and shooting hordes of enemies, listening to the music and slowly upgrading. So it's not the worst really. Maybe I'll just sum up now. It's not the worst game. It's not the worst wave defense that you might play. It's of course pixel art, but it does have the upgrades. It does have some customization of gear, so that's mildly interesting for a few hours. Then it probably gets repetitive and boring, or you get stuck on something. I talked to a friend who was also playing this game, and he had very similar emotions about it. He also got bored after a few hours. So probably you will get winded up and you will eventually give up on this, or maybe you beat it, I don't know, but it gets repetitive really. What the game needs, in my opinion, is some unlock progression system that you could actually get new stuff progressively, not just within campaign, but in general. I don't know if there is something like this, but I don't think so. The game is very much focused on this campaign where you just keep trying, pretty much having the same gear, because it's not that hard really to get full gear, to get full upgrades, but then you still fail because of the boss mechanics. So it's not like you really have much customization. You buy best stuff and then you go through this, well, same problems, and if you can't kill the boss because you can damage him because he has some unknown mechanics, then it doesn't really matter what you have. You can have the best melee weapon, you can have super fast shooting gun, but the boss takes no damage anyway. And in other case, you will just do a lot of damage with Molotovs. So maybe it's a matter of getting proper weapon or grinding longer. Hard to say really. I played a few hours. I made it to the second boss on campaign. and I pretty much got bored. I didn't have any motivation to play aside from just slowly grinding and trying the same thing. There was not enough unlocks, pretty much no unlocks that would keep me playing, something that would progressively give me like levels or something like that. You just have to do with what you have. Eventually you have the same stuff as any other player because you just have everything, and then it's just about properly using it, being more lucky or more skillful, and overcoming the challenge. How many points I would give? I would give 5 because I think the game is average. It's hard to really say what genre it is. It's a sort of stationary wave defense game. Hard to say how many games like that exist, especially on Steam. Those games probably exist on some pages with free games like Kongregate. It's not a very complicated game. It's not tower defense because you don't have towers. You are the tower. Is it RPG? Not really. Well, you get gear, but you don't really level up. You don't really have classes or skills or builds or anything like it. You definitely have upgrade system, kind of like in a mobile game. It's not a very complex game. It just uses a couple of buttons and one in the same area. Enemies change. Yes, there is a couple of different enemies. You pretty much have the same weapon. You just have this machine gun. Yes, you can customize it, upgrade it, but it's the same weapon. So content-wise, it's not the best. Genre is rather basic, rather budget genre, I would say. It's not like you go through the campaign with a guy and have, you know, all kinds of gear to choose from, or skills, or levels, or classes. Nothing like that. You just stay there and shoot guys, shoot monsters. Is it fun? Yeah, it is fun for a few hours. It's definitely fun a few hours, but then it gets boring. So I would say it's average. It's average. You should really be careful about the price. I'm not even sure what's the price, but that's what you get. If you're interested, you can grab it, especially if it's on sale. If not, you can skip it, no problem with that. I can really recommend it. It's something that you might feel like playing, especially if you see the screenshots and you're into this. You might be like, oh, I would like to play it for one afternoon, but what then? You would probably deinstall it anyway. Maybe Twitch makes it better, but I think the mechanics are the same. I don't think it actually adds to the content. It's just still the same guy who does the same thing. On the other spectrum, it's not horrible. It is playable. It works fine. It even has some basic options, even though it's very, you know, crude, basic, and pixel art. It allows you to at least change languages, switch off music, and play in window mode if you choose to be. So that's better than, you know, nothing. At least they try to add some options, some customization. And 11 languages is also quite nice. And not that you really need language for a game like this. It lacks motivation. It lacks constant upgrading your profile or anything like it, or some unlock system. It's just very linear, well, base defense or just wave defense game where you just shoot stuff. You could say it's a shoot 'em up, but you don't even move, so it's not like bullet hell or anything like it. You just shoot stuff, target them. You're basically a stationary turret. And well, there were games like that where you just operate a gun and shoot stuff that comes to the gun, but those games were on Commodore, so, you know, old times, very old times. Usually it's only a fraction of a game, not a full game. Yes, there are features like that in many games where you operate a gun and shoot incoming enemies, but usually it's followed by the rest of the game. Like this thing was also in Dead Space. There was a scene where you sit in a turret and you shoot enemies, but then there was the entire game behind it. That's here in this case, it's the entire game. So I give Let Them Come 5 out of 10. I wouldn't recommend it unless it's super cheap and you're very much into it, or you are into Twitch interactions, then maybe. But still, even then, I wouldn't pay more than $2. I'm not sure what's the price, so if the game is cheap, that's absolutely okay. If it's somewhere higher, then well, I wouldn't pay more. Was it fun to play? Yes, for a few hours it was fun to play, but it's just very average product. Yeah, I know some people might be into the pixel art, or they might like the screenshots, or they might just like to mindlessly kill hundreds of enemies, but probably we will move to something else rather quickly. So that will be it from me. That was Let Them Come, 5 out of 10, and I will see you guys in the next review.